Hi everyone. Do you have reports for today? Because this isn't awkward at all.
Alright, I guess I'll start first. So I've been working on documentation for all the important functionalities and features that were already there, such as visitor checking in and registering a new employee under like a company or something like that. And so far, everything should be up to date in terms of documentation. No current problem or blocker right now because JSDoc is nicely integrated with our current repo that I try to transfer from the previous repo to this current one for Misery. And from here onward, I'll just be adding further comments and information and documentation for our new features that Peter will be requesting from here on out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Testers, I know you were mentioning something about end-to-end tests the other day?
Yeah, so we finished rewriting the end-to-end testing, and also the server test locally runs locally, passes everything, but the problem right now is that the Travis is not running the test. Also, there are other problems.
Such as?
The other problems, right now we figured out that Firefox doesn't work. What else?
Like you can't delete the employees, so the testing account is gonna get overpopulated by junk data. It's gonna clog up the server, and also the forms doesn't work. Like the functionality, it doesn't do anything. Okay.
All right. I might be able to help you with Travis stuff since I'm technically the owner of it, so there might be some permissions things we've run into before. We can definitely talk about that later. Did you have anything? I know you're working on the admin dashboard.
Yeah, I was looking into solutions for the admin dashboard, specifically looking at things that we might be interested in and things that Peter might be interested in. So on our end, we might want to look into things like logging, like client-side console error logging, and like end-to-end logging, things like that. And on Peter's end, I noticed that there was already like a little bit of a dashboard going on. Maybe looking into like what additional features you might want, like making sure that the features that are there work. And yeah, that's pretty much it. No real blockers for now. Mostly just a lot of research because there's a lot of options out there, and we want to find the one that works the best with what we have, ideally.
Do you want to add anything to that, Christine? I know you were working on the dashboard too.
I was working on trying to figure out how to display any data on the dashboard because the only thing it's currently displaying is the number of users.
Okay.
And it looks like the other statistics aren't working right now, so that's something we need to implement. And the company list is also trying to put in kind of columns in the table for some of the things Peter talked about last lecture.
Right. What kind of statistics are there that aren't working right now?
So they had like page views, number of logins.
Okay. Are those things that Peter mentioned, like do we want to work on implementing them or scrapping them? Like
I think we can look at the requirements because that's just what the previous repo already had.
Okay.
So he did mention different requirements of what he wants, so we can just change them.
Compare them more later. All right, cool. We can talk about that. Vincent, bugs, right?
Yeah, so I was working on like the more notable bugs like on the UI side. The two things that I came across, it was they didn't really check for like when we would not minimize, but like make the screen smaller. And this is more important because on like mobile, it has to be like a small screen. So the first one was that the menu icon, they did collapse the nav bar into a menu icon, but clicking on the icon does nothing, and therefore there's no way to navigate throughout the page, and it's not clear how to reach like the login sign up. So I looked through their other files to see if I could find like maybe it just wasn't like triggering something, but I couldn't find any like code that they had. So I just like whipped together something to at least have functionality. And the other one was the weird scroll jank thing with the slides on the front. I think they just like didn't realize that it was like pushing things, so I just added some like CSS parts to like the media queries to fix them too.
Cool. Sounds good. Did you have are there other priorities on that strain that you want to work on in the future?
I was just focusing on the homepage. I think the homepage is pretty set. I was gonna test more on the other parts that Laura brought up on our requirements talk last time.
Right.
But in terms of like the most visible ones, I think we got those.
Cool. Was there anything you wanted to add to that, Laura?
I didn't. Well, I was working on the appearance side and not on the homepage. So
Yeah.
after, So after the users logged in, there are just some minor layout issues that I wanted to change with like buttons and how the headers are currently organized. So I added some changes to that, and I guess things we have to do in the future, we have to probably just double check that everything is like uniform throughout all the pages. And I think we might want to do some change to like the default check-in page though, since right now it looks a little out of place, even though they'll be able to customize it later on.
Right, I agree with that. So we can talk more on like actual physical templating later. Cool. That was all I had on my list. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, so I added, I made like our requirement doc and interpreted during class what I thought Peter wanted. And then I made like a top 3 options for us, what I thought that he would appreciate the most. And I also made a mock-up for the admin dashboard based off those requirements. But I don't know what the old one looks like that the other team made, so we might want to like combine those two. Because he might have decided he wanted an admin dashboard in the past, but changed his requirements between then and now.
Yeah,
And
okay, cool. So that would be Christina and David that we'd want to talk to about that.
Yeah, 'cause I think that's the number 1 priority besides like the appearance. I feel like the appearance and the dashboard are like his top 2.
Okay.
And then I want to fix some bugs as well, so.
Right. Sounds like we're on the right track then. In the future, when we have more time, I want to talk to you all about scheduling the rest of the quarter, see where we can fit in all of these features, and possibly some decisions we might need to make about what we can actually implement. Thank you guys. We can get to the actual meeting now.